All right. 6.4, we are writing linear equations. All right, so basically what this is, remember when I assigned all those IXLs and y'all were like, and there's like one or two that y'all were like, Miss Rogers, you haven't taught this to us, blah, blah. This is it. This is the stuff that I hadn't taught you that I assigned or did something with. You're writing linear equations. So remember I said don't worry about that one. Okay. It's not difficult, but you were correct. I get confused as to, did I teach this to y'all last year or this year, whatever, so it happens. Basically, instead of taking a graph and writing the y equals mx plus b from the graph, this time we're going the other direction. Yeah, okay. Slope-intercept form. This is kind of a review. Does anyone remember what the slope-intercept form is? Franz?
y2 minus y1.
No. New? Yeah. This one.
You say last year because it's just like 5.
So, I'm looking at that Bible's too much. Okay, so anyway, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. What you need to remember is y equals mx plus b. Okay, and y'all know that. Does that ring a bell? What is the b? Y-intercept. Very good. What is the m? Slope. That's right. Do y'all remember that now? Hopefully? Okay. It's hard, I know. I'm just as tired. So let's do an example. If I said that the slope was 2 over 3, do we say 2/3? No, we don't. It looks like 2/3, but that is, remember, rise over run. That's 2 over 3. If I have the slope as 2 over 3 and the y-intercept, which is b, is -5. And I said, write the slope-intercept form using that information. Well, guys, all you have to do is plug that information in. Y equals, what would m be? 2 over 3. X, don't forget, that's separate, plus -5. And there's your answer. Or you could write it, as this. Because really it's the same thing, right? So that's what you're doing. That's not too bad for the first day back after Christmas, huh? You're just plugging in information.
It doesn't
You think?
as bad as
Well, you think that's all we're doing. But that's the basics. So are there any questions about that? So Ariel, at any time, and you had me last year, so Algebra 1 basically takes everything you learned last year and they just kind of take it up a notch.
Oh.
There's a lot more decimals and fractions, stuff like that. There's some new stuff, but a lot of it's just repeat, but just on a higher level sort of thing, okay? So you should be okay. At any time you have questions, don't feel bad. Raise your hand and ask, okay? Because you'll catch on real quick if you just ask. All right, so that's your writing linear equations. That's what you just did. You wrote a linear equation. Remember, linear is line, okay? And this is like the thumbprint for a line. Okay, here we go. Let's do another example. And Ariel, if you cannot see, you can move up. But I will warn you, if you move up, you have to wear a mask the whole time because of distance, social distancing. That's why Keith is now in the very, very back of the room.
Good job, Keith.
Yeah, Morgan thanks you.
I was like, thank you so much.
All right.
Oh, do I have to wear a mask right now?
You do not have to. All right, write the equation of the line You better be writing. Passing, yeah, and you need to write good notes with this. Through the ordered pair of 1 and 5 with a slope of 3. You're going to see a lot of this. Now, the other thing I showed you was just to get, you acclimated to what we're learning. Sophia, when you're done writing, can you go erase the words that are in the little box on my whiteboard? That's making me crazy. So we're going to write the equation. Equation meaning your y equals mx plus b. Okay, the slope in that form. We're going to write that equation of a line passing through this ordered pair, this spot on the graph, thank you dear, with a slope of 3. Okay, so let's talk about that. This ordered pair, what is 1? There you go. And 5 is y. Okay? So, what should the equation look like? What should it look like? Like what the final product, what form should it be? Slope-intercept form. So we want it to look like this, correct? I know my questions are kind of crazy. Okay, we want the equation to look like this eventually. What do we know? Well, we do know there's a slope of 3. So we know the slope is 3. Do we know what the y-intercept is? See, up here, they gave us the slope, and they gave us the y-intercept, so all we had to do was just plug them in, right? Well, this time, they gave us the slope, but they gave us an ordered pair. They did not give us the y-intercept, the b. So we don't know what that is. So this is how you find it out. You see this y and this x? Y'all see that? Franz, up here? You see the y and the x?
Yeah.
We're going to replace this y and x in there. So watch what I do. In place of the y, what is y, Franz?
5.
I'm going to do 5 equals, Franz, what is the m?
Is the m?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like 0?
What did they tell us in the problem? What is m?
Slope, so it'll be 3.
Very good. So m is 3. So I'm going to replace that m with 3. Franz, what is my x?
1.
1. Do y'all see that? Valeria, do you see that? So I'm going to replace that x with 1. Do we know what our b is, Franz?
No.
So I'm just going to call it plus b. So make sure you got this written down. So you're going to plug in what they gave you. Now let's work it. So 5 didn't do anything, so we're going to rewrite that. What is 3 times 1, Valeria?
3.
So 3 plus b. Okay, Valeria, look at that. I have 5 equals 3 plus b. What am I ultimately looking for to solve this problem?
B.
We are looking for b. So what do I need to do to get b all by itself? To isolate the variable. Okay, so I want to get rid of this 3 to leave b all by itself. And you're correct. We want to subtract 3 on both sides. So this cancels out, and I'm left with 2 equals b. So now I have my b. Can I write my equation now? Yes, because it says write an equation. So I'm going to go back, rewrite this. Y equals, my slope is 3, x, and my b is 2. There you go. Whoops, sorry. Yes, sir.
How come you want to keep the y and the x there? Like, you put y and x back instead of having-
Because you're wanting this is the official slope intercept form. Okay? And it doesn't, all you need to be able to graph any line is just the slope and the y-intercept. So those are unnecessary. Those are just stuck in there so you can find your slope. I mean your y-intercept. Yes, ma'am.
Would it count as correct if you put y equals 3 over 1x plus 2?
Okay, good one. You can't, because if you're graphing, you're gonna need that, right? That rise over run. So what she said is it okay if we do this? Absolutely. That is the exact same thing. And in fact, in reality, that's what you really need when you're graphing. So either one, even IXL will say that that's okay.
In IXL, it makes it wrong. I think.
I don't know. I don't think so. Try it and show me. If it ever happens again, show me a picture, take a screenshot or something. Does everyone have this down? You got it? All right. Let's do another one. Okay, so that's an example if they give you this, whoops, sorry. This is an example if they give you the slope and a spot on the graph, the ordered pair. And so you know how to find your equation. Now, let's do a different one. Write an equation of the line. So we're doing the same thing, but it's going to be a little bit different. Passing through two sets of ordered pairs. Oops. All right, this time they didn't give you the y-intercept, and they did not give you the slope. All they did was give you two ordered pairs, and you've got to write this equation. So make sure you write that down. All right, let me wait till everyone's got it. Definitely make sure your notes are nice and neat. I skipped lunch, so I got to chew a bunch of gum, so Franz and Drew don't hear my stomach growling. Because you'll say something anyway. You'll announce it to the whole class. Okay, does everyone have this? Okay.
Assumptions.
I know. So again, let's go over this. What is the equation going to look like in the end? Y equals mx plus b. That's the goal. We want to eventually take this information and make it look like that. They did not give us the slope or the y-intercept. They didn't. What they did give us was two ordered pairs. All right, so in this case, you're going to use the formula that yes, that one. The slope. Finding the slope. Yes. With two ordered pairs. What is it, Franz?
y2 minus y1 over
what am I
x2
doing?
minus
That's an M.
x1.
There you go. Franz is correct. That's an M there because we're looking for the slope. We don't have the slope. We don't have the y-intercept. So when you have two ordered pairs, we're going to use this to first find the slope. Now, 1, what is that?
X.
X what?
1. Yeah.
We can call it X1. What is a 3?
X2. Or y2. Y1.
Okay, thank you, Morgan, for thoroughly confusing poor Ariel. All right, 4, what would 4 be?
X2.
Thank you, chat. Morgan, what would negative 2 be?
X.
No.
No, y2. Sorry.
Thank you. X3, no ma'am. There's no X3. I almost wrote 3 with that Y, see? Okay. All right, so I always tell my students go ahead and write that underneath there, like I told y'all, so that no one gets confused. Let's plug in the information. We have -2 minus 3. If you have questions where I'm getting this, you need to raise your hand. X2 is 4 minus X1 is 1. -2 and -3 is what, Keith?
What?
-2 and -3 is what?
-5.
I don't think I like you back there. What's 4 minus 1?
3.
Okay, so do I need to put this in like a mixed number? Why? What?
You just don't need to.
That you don't need to because it is the slope. It can stay as rise over run. Okay, is that our answer? No, but that's our slope. So now we're getting close. All we need now is our y-intercept. So I'm going to go back and we're going to do like we did on that other one. We're going to plug some information in. Now, with this case, remember on this last one, I took the ordered pair, and you remember I plugged it into the y and the x, right? With the slope, and then solve for b. Well, this time I have 2 ordered pairs. Guys, I will tell you, you can choose. Listen to my words. I know y'all tired and I just had lunch, but listen. You can choose this ordered pair or this one. I always choose, for consistency, the first one. You can't, it'll get you the same answer, either one, okay? But just for consistency, I always choose the first one, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to plug in that information here. So y, right here is 3. Y'all see that? What is my m, Valeria? What's my slope? That's right, very good. -5 over 3. See, that's where she got her slope. What's my x, Valeria? Yes, ma'am. Very good. So I'm plugging that in, and we don't know our y-intercept. Franz, you're supposed to be writing this. So what is -5 over 3 times 1, Sophia? Look how smart she is, Ariel. Plus b. Oh, I'm doing this all in red, aren't I? Here, I'll rewrite it in black for those of you in the back so y'all can see. Okay. Now, what do I do, chat?
You add the -503 to the side.
Okay, so I'm gonna, because we're isolating the variable, we need to get rid of this. If this is -5 over 3, we need to do the opposite. We're adding 5 over 3. This cancels out. So over here, I'm going to solve that. So 3 over 1 plus 5 over 3. Sophia, shh. Sophia, what's the rule when you're adding fractions? And what denominator should I have? This one doesn't change. What is the new numerator, Sophia? 9, because 1 goes into 3 times, so 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so 9 plus 5 is what, Morgan?
14.
And do we do 3 plus 3?
No.
No, we don't. Very good. We just leave it. So then what I have is 14 over 3 equals b. So now I've got my y-intercept, and way back up here I have my slope. So now what do I do, Valeria? connect them. I like how you said that. We need them to look, our final answer needs to be in this format. So then I have y equals, what is my slope, Keith?
-5 over 3.
X plus my y-intercept, which is what, Franz?
Your y-intercept.
Yes.
B.
What is b?
Oh, 14.
I'm pointing to it.
I thought you were just talking about 14 over 3.
Very good. So we need to replace the b with our y-intercept that we found. And this is your final answer. Are there any questions? It's pretty oh goodness. Yes, Morgan.
Why didn't you use the one in the pair?
I did use the one right here.
But the one's the first number, so why didn't you put it as?
That's x, right?
Oh.
Morgan, I swear you have got to wake up. Do you see? I replaced the x with the x. Do you see that?
Right.
Okay. Chat?
Can you, like, are you supposed, or like, not supposed to, but, like, reduce the B?
Okay, so when you're, if you remember before Christmas, the first thing you put on your graph is your y-intercept, right?
Right.
You can't do that. 14 over 3. So yes, you would put that into a mixed number. Now that's if you're graphing it. For an answer, you can just leave it like this. But if you were actually graphing it, how many times 3 going to 14?
4.
How many left over?
2.
So if you were having to graph this, absolutely, whoops, put that, just the y-intercept, not the slope, because that's rise over run. But this would be a lot easier to graph if you put it in a mixed number.
You can change it though, even if you're not graphing it, right?
What, this?
That, yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's still going to be the same thing. This, no, don't touch it.
Got it.
This, yes. Good question. Chaps was a good question. I'm just kidding. Okay. Any other question? All right. Let's do some examples. Open up your books. Page 252. We're going to start with number 1. Okay, let's see. New, can you read the directions, please? Okay, this is like the first thing we did. Write the equation so we know the end result's going to have to be in that format. They gave you y is -5, and they also gave you the y-intercept. The slope is -5, and they gave you the y-intercept of this. Now, guys, see how it's an ordered pair? What is the b?
Y. Intercept.
Thank you, whoever said 10. That's all you need to know. When they give you that ordered pair, it does look different, but all you need to know is that it's 10. So the slope is -5, the b is 10, the y-intercept. Yes, sir.
So is it just because it's 0, that's why, like 0 is the x, is that why you can't just do that with every problem and put that as the y-intercept, like the y?
That's because, remember, the y-intercept is where it crosses on the line,
Right,
so x would always be 0,
right.
no matter what. So it would be like right here.
Alright, so just because it is 0.
Yeah. So it's kind of dumb to put the 0 there, but it's because it doesn't ever, it's always going to be 0. Okay, so the b is just 10. Okay, so we want it to look like this, the end result. So all you do is plug in the information. This one's real easy. What is my slope, Franz? What should my equation look like? Y equals,
4?
no,
No,
Sophia, what should the answer be?
Y equals -5x plus 10.
Thank you. Franz, I need you to write this down and pay attention, please.
I was
Very
looking at
good.
number 2.
Well, you're supposed to, I have it all right here. Supposed to be looking at the stuff you apparently wrote in your book or in your spiral. All right, number 5. Are there any questions, by the way? Okay, number 5 is weird, so I want y'all to look at that one. The slope is 0, and they give you the y-intercept as 0, 7. So B is what, chap? 7. Okay, now look at this one. This time they give you a slope of 0. So if we were to write this out, it would be y equals 0x plus 7. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
What is 0 times x?
0.
Morgan, don't answer anymore. Okay, I'm just playing. So 0 times x is really just 0. There's nothing, right? So this would basically cancel out. And your answer would be this. There's no slope. If the slope is 0, there's no slope. And remember we talked about that. That would be your straight line. If this is your x and this is your y, let's pretend that 7 is right there. It would look like that. Any questions about number 5? Keith, you have a question? Okay. All right, let's look at now the next page. Let's look at number 7. Okay, now this where they've given you a graph and you've got to come up with the equation. That I think was one of the IXLs too. Okay, so let's look at that. We know the format needs to be in y equals mx plus b. So the only thing we are needing is your slope and your y-intercept. So Valeria, look at that graph very carefully. The first thing, yes,
So I was just gonna ask, isn't the slope like where it kind of intercepts with like one of the lines on the graph?
no, that
Well, like I don't think I'm describing it right, but like
you count up and over.
yeah, and then where it like hits like a corner, I guess. Like
The intersection. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Exactly. I got what you're saying. Okay, so Valeria, look at that line. The first thing we always graph is your y-intercept because that's where the line crosses the y. So what would my b be? Look at number 7. Where does the line cross the y-axis? Positive or negative? Because it's below, right? All right, so she's correct. It's -2. Do y'all all see that before I move on? If you do not see the y-intercept where it crosses is at -2, then you need to let me know. Okay, so if it crosses there, that, like what Ariel's saying, that we can go start there and go find our slope. So let's see, new. Can you tell me what the slope is? It is 3/2. Let me see your book, Franz. Okay, so let's look at this. Right here is your y-intercept because that's where the line crosses the y-axis. Do y'all see that? Now, that is right there, Ariel, like the intersection like you're talking about. The other place would be like right here. So we would go up 1, 2, 3. That's a positive. And then right 2. Both of those are positive moves. So then it's 3/2. Does everyone see that?
yeah.
Are there any questions? So then if we have our y-intercept and our slope, we can go back and let's see, Sophia, what would my final answer be?
Y equals 3 over 2x minus 2.
Perfect. Does everyone see that? Okay, does everyone have it written down? All right. Larry, did you get it? Okay. Number 9. All right, so we want to put it in this format. Let's start with our B. What is our y-intercept? Let's see, Morgan. Look at the graph. What would our y-intercept be? -1. Very good. Now, with that, count and tell me what our slope would be. Very good. 3/1. Let me see your book again, Franz. Just so everyone can see a visual. So we have number 9. Here's your y-intercept. So that's at -1. And then we're going to go to the next place where it crosses in the intersection. And we have 1, 2, 3 up. That's a positive move. And then 1 to the right, another positive move. Very good. Does everyone say yes?
Wouldn't the answer, so when you plug it all in, wouldn't it also, so it's y equals 3/1, couldn't it also be y equals 3? So
Yep.
it's- Okay.
So you got it. Y equals 3/1x minus 1. Or, because that's if you're graphing it, you want that rise over run. Or you can just say 3x minus 1. Either one is correct. Any questions? I got 2 more for y'all. Everyone have it down? Okay, Keith, your time to shine. Read the directions for 11.
Write the equation for non-classical given.
Okay, so they want the equation. We already know what it's going to look like. So they gave us 2 and -5, that point, and the slope of -3. So Keith, talk me through this. What do I need to do?
So notice that this is -2.
Yep. So what's the only thing we're really looking for?
Y-intercept.
That's right. We're looking for the y-intercept. If we have the slope, then all we need is that. Okay, so how do I figure this out? Okay, so this is your x and this is your y. What do I do with that? Yes, you do. What do you do with it? How do I find my b? Anyone want to help Keith out? Wait, Ariel, you want to help him out?
I think I know.
Okay.
So basically, you replace the y in like the format with -5, and then you replace the x with 2.
Very good. And we're going to replace the m with the slope as well. So the slope is -3. And I'm going to replace that x with the 2. And we're using parentheses so we don't get -32. And we know that we're multiplying. And then we can solve for b. All right, so what is -3 times 2?
What? -6.
Very good, Keith. So I have -5 equals -6 plus b. Did that help you out, Keith? Good. I don't want you to be lost. Okay, so now how do I solve for b? Keith?
Add 6 on both sides.
Very good. We're going to add 6 on both sides. And I get 1 equals b. Okay, so now I have my slope and might be. So Valeria, what is my final answer?
Y equals -3. Plus 1.
-3 what? -3 what?
X.
There you go. Very good. Don't leave off that X. I have now, common mistake, I'll have kids tell me that the slope is -3x. That is wrong. The slope is -3. That is a common mistake. So be very careful with that X. Any questions? Everyone got it? I got one more. Come on, y'all, wake up. It's not that bad. This really isn't bad stuff for coming back. Y'all have to admit. 19. Chat, why don't you read the directions?
Write the equation of the line passing through the given points.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but this time they gave us two ordered pairs. 4 and 2, and -3 and 9. And we want it again to look like this in the end. Okay, so chat, what do I do? Talk me through it.
You do the I don't know what it's called, the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Okay, so we're trying to, the first thing we want to do is find slope. In fact, I'm going to write that. Find slope. Did I even spell that right, y'all? I'm so tired. It's like it didn't even look like I spelled it right. Okay, so we're going to do M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to find the slope. That's what that thing is called. So, chat, what is 4? Oh, no, I'm going to hit Morgan up. Morgan, what is 4?
x1
Very good. What is 2?
y1
Good. -3?
x2 y2.
You are on fire now.
I
Okay,
know.
she's awake. Okay, so the top line, chat, talk me through it. What should I have on the top line?
I believe 2.
Wait, what's y2?
Hold up. I wrote the wrong thing.
So just, hey, look up
9,
here. Okay,
9 minus 2.
good.
Okay, and then -3 minus 4.
Do you see how it can get confusing? That's why I tell everyone to write up here. What's 9 minus 2, chap?
7.
And -3 and -4?
-7.
And what is that? 7 divided by -7 is what? You can do this. Absolutely. M is -1. Would it be wrong if I graph 7 over -7? If the slope? No, it's going to end up giving you the same thing. Correct? You'll end up getting the same thing. Okay, so I found my slope. Now, chap, what do I need to find?
Your y-intercept.
Yes, sir. So you taught me through it. Tell me what I need to do.
Okay, so you pick one of the ordered pairs,
And which one are you going to pick?
the first one,
Awesome. Okay.
and then you replace them where they belong.
Okay, replace them. Tell me what the next one's going to look like. The next.
Y would be 2,
All right, so he's choosing 2.
and M would be -1,
All right, so we have our slope. It's -1
and then X would be 4,
times 4
and then you just put B.
plus B. Very good. Because we're solving for B. All right, so chat. Tell me what the next line is.
2 equals -4 plus B.
Keep talking.
Then you add 4 to 2
Why?
because you gotta get rid of it.
You got to get rid of it because we're isolating the variable. Trigger alert. So what do you get?
6. B equals 6.
All right, so now we have found our slope and our y-intercept. Now we just rewrite it. So what's the final answer?
Y equals -1x plus 6.
Perfect. Are there any questions? All right, y'all wake up. Page 252 to 255. Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna be nice because I know y'all are all exhausted. So everyone's gonna do the same problems. I don't want it, my honor students seem to be already challenged enough just breathing. So we have 2 to 26 even. And 46 and 48. I need y'all to wake up. So this is gonna be due Thursday. Notice there's no graphing today, so that's nice. I'm going to assign IXL. It will be, if I get it out in time, it's going to be due before your test. Let me look. Your test is going to be Wednesday, so your IXL will be due Wednesday. So IXL will be due a week from today, and you have a test on Wednesday, so a week from today. And right now, I have it scheduled for 6.4 to 6.7. We will see how that goes. All right.